and welcome back. As you can see, I'm here once again in the grow room. Share a little talk, a little something about humility, and maybe something else as we go on through this video. But first I wanted to touch base with what is humility, true humility, because a lot of people believe in being humble. Be more humble. As though it's something you can become by practicing. You can't practice humility. You can make a habit of anything in your life, but it doesn't mean it's going to be genuine. Things like humility, and there are others that fall into this category, are the types of understandings that need to come through certain experiences. It's one of those things that you have to taste for yourself. If you're the type of person that has this reaction first, how can I say this? If you deep down want to tell someone off, and you really, really want to, if you're to be honest with yourself, that's really what you would do. But instead, you choose not to, and you're practicing being humble. Okay, no, it's not the right thing to do. I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to be humble. And then that's not going to transform you at all. It's not going to change your inner being. It's just going to change the shell. You're basically painting your new personality. You're changing the personality. You're not changing your essence. And this is one of the big issues, probably the biggest issue with the world today. And when I say the world in this video, I'm talking right now in this instance about, just people, your personality. People color their personality all sorts of ways, thinking that that's how you change. You change your personality to be this or to be that. I'm going to be more like this or more like that. But those are all decisions you make using your mind. And I talk a lot about how the mind is really not useful in this manner of your life. Your mind is good for survival. It'll keep you alive. Once you're alive, you can eat, you've got a roof over your head, those sort of things. You've got your basic survival down. Your mind isn't really going to be that useful. It's not its expertise, and building a personality isn't going to really, really change you, because deep down you're still going to want to give the person the finger. And this is the problem with building that type of personality, humble personality, is that anything you suppress in your life, it'll come back with a vengeance. Anything that you hold down, it's the same thing as trying not to think about a monkey. If I tell you right now, don't think of monkeys, or don't think of a purple elephant, a pink elephant, don't think of ice cream. Anything you try not to do in your life, the mind will eventually get revenge on you. It's just the way it works. The mind is kind of a reverse mechanism. Anything you try not to do will eventually turn out to be self-failing. Your mind is probably coming up with all these, well, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this. As I said, when it comes to survival, you can get a great job. It doesn't mean you're going to be happy. You can work your ass off and achieve all types of achievements in life, but it doesn't mean you're going to be happy doing it. And becoming authentic and learning to develop genuine humility, learning to allow... Let me go back into humility a little bit more here. These things are difficult to talk about too, because unless you've experienced it yourself, most people live their lives on automatic and they don't look into the subconscious mind. Their subconscious mind stays subconscious. You can consciously go into your subconscious. You don't need to be hypnotized. That's the difference between someone who lives their life in awareness versus someone who's half asleep, a very dull, personality-based person. They don't understand the deeper workings of the mind. And in order to become humble, it's not something you do. Humility comes... Let me give you an example. If all of a sudden in life something happens to you, you fall in front of a bunch of people, and you used to be known as the guy who never falls, your great balance, and all of a sudden you've become a little bit more humble in that situation. So the next time you go to do that type of trick, or that you think of yourself in that same way, it might not have the same intensity in your personality. It leaves a kind of reminder in you. It sets a little reminder. Maybe I shouldn't be quite as boastful, because last time I did that, such and such happened, and I felt really embarrassed in front of other people. And it showed that I wasn't as good as I thought I was. Humility, true humility, comes from those moments when you find out you're not quite as good as you thought you were. And slowly, but slowly and slowly, over time, with each of these lessons dig deep in you, you drop being boastful. You unpower, you de-emphasize the ego aspect in you, because you've learned and you've been humbled so many times that humility now is natural for you. So you become a little bit more loving as well, because when you see someone else fall, you're less likely to laugh at them, or when someone acts in a way that you used to criticize and say to yourself, oh, that person's stupid, you're more likely to be like, well, I've been there. I understand what it feels like to be angry. I understand what it feels like to be in a situation that I'm not comfortable in. So humility learned through life has this effect of helping a person become more accepting of others' faults and less you condemn people less. You're more likely to see people equally and not judge them so hard, That's true humility. That's where humility really becomes a reality. It's not something that it's not a shirt you just put on and, because you can't lie to yourself. In the end, inside, you're going to know you're not really humble. It's just a fake mask you put on for the world to see. You see? True humility only can become a reality for you when you can have certain events and experiences in your life that help tear down the ego. The ego is the opposite of humility. Lack of ego is humility already. And you can't make the ego go away by thinking about how to make it go away. It's something that you realize, like for example, a woman, after she's gone through birth pains, anytime she hears another person being pregnant or going to go through birth, or being that sort of thing, okay? That woman is going to have a deep understanding of what the other woman is going to be going through. So she's going to be much more humble when it comes to, and more loving when it comes to talk about pregnancy, or she's more likely to all of a sudden be compassionate towards. She's going to want to help. Do you see? That's where humility, when it's real, has this quality to be able to help the world. You're going to want to help someone because you know what it's like. So you want to help out of compassion. Humility and compassion in this way are intertwined together. They're like cousins, right? So anything, I guess the message for this video is just drop all the types of being good that you can find in your life. Anything that you're trying to become, if you're the type of person that's shy and you've been hurt a lot in your life and you're scared to get hurt more, chances are you didn't get hurt enough to bust through your shy ego. You're not really humble. You're afraid. Fear is overcome by courage, and courage can only be overcome when you taste it yourself, or gained. Once you taste it, you can see others being courageous, but sometimes things happen to you in your life where courage comes naturally. You hear stories sometimes of a grandmother lifting a car off her grandchild or a daughter or something, and these miraculous feats of strength, for example. And when that grandmother looks back at that, it becomes a fountain, a well of strength she can draw on. That courage is now a seed planted. She says, I can do things I didn't think I could do before. So the ego goes both ways, and a person trying to become humble doesn't work. You need to learn the lessons of life. And if you think you're already humble, chances are you might not be. You might just be living in fear. And these are things you need to really look into for yourself. And there's no wrong experiences in life. The message is try not to become anything. Don't do and don't be anything that you're not. Don't be anything you are not. It doesn't mean you should give a person your finger, but don't try to change your personality in order and believe you're becoming something. That's the key. It's not that you can't hold yourself back from giving the person the finger, but don't think you're being humble. Don't think you're being a good person when you're doing that. Just look into it and understand that simple act of anger towards another person has a ripple effect. So just witnessing and noticing how negativity spreads more negativity naturally humbles you. If you've felt enough negativity in your life, if you've been humbled by the effects of negativity, that is. This video doesn't seem like it might feel all over the place. At least it does to me as I'm explaining it, because it's one of those things that you can't really tell somebody in a video. These are the types of things that you really have to see and experience for yourself. And I guess the message really is in this video is drop all personality. Don't, anytime you see yourself trying to change your personality to look different in the eyes of others, just drop it, put it down. But you may need to experience that for yourself to understand the truth of it. What can I say? Wherever you are around the world, whatever time it is that you're watching this video, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you. Peace.